Welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
And the grenades from Pomku eliminate everybody on the field.
Now I'm doing something as well. It's going to be applied as a death block from, and it's going to be huge. Fighting three.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find two with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Cam with the four-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Tranquility Gaming for another great night of Overwatch. I am Aliagator, and today I have with me the man, the myth, the legend, Karma, to be both the brains and the brawn, really, of this casting pair. So I'm going to stop being boring and I'm going to throw it to the interesting person. Karma, how are you doing on this fine day?
I don't feel like I'm that much more interesting than you are, but I'm doing fine. Of course, obviously, it is June 1st. It is Happy Pride Month to everybody out there. Today, we've got a sort of banger of a matchup, even though it is number 1 seed versus number 4 seed. These two teams did meet in the regular season, and it ended the way that you might not have thought. Cosmic Castaways came away in the map 5, gave Mi7 their only loss of the season so far. And talking with them before the season, I got to pull up the quote myself, because the head coach of Cosmic Castaways had this to say. Honestly, we haven't prepared that much. We get that there's a lot of hype behind Mi7, but I don't really think that they are very good. We tried doing a team VOD with one of their maps, but had to turn it off after some of the first few fights. Those are fighting words, and you know it's going to be a banger if that has to come out already in like 3 minutes into the cast.
Absolutely, it is going to be one banger of a game. Like you said, you have those seeds right there, but they don't tell the full story, right? Mi7, yes, our #1 team, came into the playoffs as the #1 seed. You could say clearly the best, with that one only loss to the Cosmic Castaways, who they have the 4 seed for the playoffs, but they had the #6 seed coming before this championship bracket overall. They won their first game, but then they dropped their second. But at the end of the day, both teams got here to the championship bracket in their quarterfinals. They both went to Game 7, Mi7 against Wildcat Boys and Cosmic Castaways against Beat Drop Bears. But they both came out on top, so I am really expecting them to be warmed up and ready to fight.
Yeah, I am too, especially with these two teams sort of have a little bit of a, obviously, like I said before, a little bit of a history facing each other in regular season. Mi7, I asked them this, but they didn't have a response, was this is sort of like a little bit of a revenge tour with them. They said like they're sort of not really preparing for it exactly, like they're sort of preparing it like it's any other game. But again, with Mi7, they were the runner-ups last year. They were the runner-ups in the preseason finale. Is this their time to finally get that one elusive championship? Whereas Cosmic Castaways, they're just like, hey, we're here to have fun. We're lucky that they got placed in the upper seed because they lost to REM, which is in the second stream that's going on right now. And Tranquility GG2, I believe, is the other stream for it. So if you want to go see them, you want to go support one of your 4 favorite teams in the Final 4 semifinals of the Tranquility matchup, you can go there to go watch REM versus Paradise Lost. I casted that game last week. But yeah, I'm excited to see a banger here, especially with Mi7 versus Cosmic. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, especially as well with Cosmic Castaways missing their starting main support. But as we head into the first map, Antarctic Peninsula, what are you expected for with this map, with how everything's going to go?
Oh, that's a difficult one to predict, not gonna lie, because I've casted this precise map here in Tranquility, I don't know, maybe 5 times over the past 3 weeks, and it has always gone a different way. The first time I casted it, it was the day right after this new patch dropped. Everyone kind of knew already Junker Queen was busted, but no one really knew how to use it, so we saw a lot of Rush, Ramatra, Reinhardt, but then you go back, so I believe it was the other Tuesday this week, and it was a Junker Queen paradise, so I really don't know what's going to happen. It is the meta, I believe, that we are in right now is heavily dependent on what teams feel comfortable with, right? Because we have that one character, Junker Queen, that is a tier above, if you will, the rest. But you can reasonably run other compositions, and I've seen plenty of King's Row where you just go the classical Brawl or Rush with the Reinhardt, with the Ramatra. The other Tuesday, I casted a game. It was a 4-1 in which the winning team won 4 straight maps after dropping the first with a Ramatra composition. They just ran with it. They didn't swap. They didn't really change up anything. And their first map was Ilios. They lost it. So it kind of remains to be seen how both teams are going to go at it. Having those 3 points as well provides you with a really interesting scenario, I guess, in which you can run 3 different compositions, right?
Yeah, really, and especially being able to, like, I'm going to keep on saying this before because it's my go-to line, talking with these 2 teams before this matchup. Both these teams love to run the Brawl. They think it's their best composition. They just sort of go back to the basics. Just take a chill pill. We're just going to play the basics, go with that standard Brawl. And it's going to be interesting, especially with Antarctic going into the first map. Of course, Mi7 said that this is their favorite map due to their pregame ritual, which is just shooting the penguin and then Bunny yells at them. But it's something too, or especially with Antarctic, you see a lot of these Rhine comps come out with how tight corridored it is. It's very interesting to see how you're able to break it. But I'm going to be excited to watch this matchup, especially with these 2 sort of juggernauts being able to fight their way back up.
Oh, absolutely. And it is an absolute pity, if you ask me, that this championship bracket is single elimination, because, 8 teams come into it. Only one takes the final crown. We know Mi7 are the prime candidates for that, but they've fallen short before and more than once. So they're really gonna be putting everything that they have into this one game, because if they lose, there is no second chance. And at the same time, Cosmic Castaways, they know they have the power to get that upset. They can put themselves one game closer to winning that championship. There are no bracket resets, no funky stuff. It is you win or you go home. And right now, these two teams, they have the exact same goal, but with two very different motivations. And that could be a key thing coming up, not coming into the match actually, but rather as the match goes on, because, you know, we saw their quarterfinals matchups, both had game 7s. And if you have a series that is so long, the mental game is going to be really important, right, Karma?
Yeah, it is, and especially not even in Overwatch 2. We saw this in real life with the NBA playoffs. Miami Heat goes up 3-0, barely finally takes it off to a game 7. They're playing tonight, actually. And you just saw that mental change with Jimmy Butler. You saw him be very excited. We're going to win this. We're going to win this. And then finally, after that game 6 loss, he's like, okay, no more funny business. We're ending this next game. And that's what Mi7 plans to do. I know I was talking with Lore, and he's like, this is my revenge tour. This is my Tom Brady deflate gate. This is my, we're just hoping we're not going to just falter out right away. We're here to finally win one. And might as well take out the one team that you lost to along the way to prove like, hey, we can do this. And if you can do it in something dominant. That's the one thing that I feel like Mi7 is feeling right now. This is our only loss of the season. If we can prove to ourselves we can 4-0 sweep them, nobody can stop them.
And you said it right there. It is the exact thing that they need. Because, you know, if Cosmic Castaways or any other team wins, you can call it an upset. But for Mi7, it is more about proving that they've got what it takes, that they know how to win, that they know how to become champions. We see the Wrecking Ball coming out here for this Labs point, which is something that I've seen before. Cosmic Castaways having to be very, very careful around this side. Magic trying to do some scouting. On the other side, you've got Laurer with a Bastion going to play behind that Reinhardt shield. Going to be very, very important to melt those supports very fast. We already see Aphex here going for the flank. Mi7 trying to turn the map around. I guess I don't really see the advantage to doing this, but already Laurer trying to go onto the side. Not really finding much damage along the way, but still some good poke. Onyx is going to force out Bunny's Immortality Field. Is going to be the one to destroy it here on the other side. Yoon is going to be trying to go for the backline, but Laurer has to take down Magic Otter. Now it's going to be the collapse coming in from Mi7. They take the point from the hands of Cosmic Castaways, who never really got to capping, and now it's just cleanup duty.
No, they never really did. They got fairly close with being able to cap, but Mi7 was able to collapse at that last second. And especially with the sort of brawl that Mi7 is running the Mei Bastion, it's very good against this ball comp because you are able to isolate him, freeze him, slow him down, and then you just have the Bastion right there of Lore just being able to melt him completely. But I'm excited to see what these two teams do, especially on this Labs point, to try to fight against one another, especially with the way how Mi7 is holding on this little high ground rather than on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and the disconnect between the front line and the back line could be crucial if Magic Otter goes in a bit too far. There was a sleep dart onto Laurer, but it didn't get anything. Magic Otter is going to get Bunny, but Tanic B trades for Jacob. Now Tanic B trying to get another one onto the Soldier, and there it is. Aphex, but Magic Otter is going absolutely Hammond on the point. Is going to drop low, though. I think they're going to need to fall back. That Mei was very low, and indeed, Yoon is going to take out Tanic B. This is the chance for Cosmic Castaways to win, but their Stan Genji main is planted firmly on the point with Laurer by its side. The pulse bomb comes out, but it doesn't get anything. Some damage out here. When are the healers going to come through? Boat Carrier absolutely speeding to the point. Genji main being saved by Bunny. Yoon is going to destroy the Immortality Field. The mines come out. Jacob is finally going to take down the Reinhardt. Surely this has to be the capture point for Cosmic Castaways, but a lot of their players are very low. This could spell disaster for them, and the point still has not gone their way. Aphex finally going to be able to take down Cosmic Carrier. The Mei still somewhere around here in the point, stalling with that ice block. It is going to be last fight territory now for Cosmic Castaways, but finally they capture the point.
Yeah, they finally are able to cap it, but yeah, like you said, Mi7, if they are able to cap that point, it's final fight for Cosmic Castaways, and they're coming in with 4 out of their 5 ultimates. The only ultimate that they did use was Bunny's Amplification Matrix, which honestly against a comp like Cosmic Castaways, you're good with that. You're good using that, just healing up people. You can't really combo stuff. But on Cosmic, they do have both support ults plus Sojourn's ultimate, but it could be massive for the side of Cosmic.
Oh, the overclock definitely is a high impact ultimate. Gonna be watching out for that one, as well as the nano boost to keep your tank alive. You gotta think an Onyx goes down. That's ultimate. That's not gonna be available. Aphex though does take down boat carrier. The Blizzard comes out right before dying from Tanic B. 2 picks already going the way of Cosmic Castaways, but all the ultimates are here from the side of Mi7. Aphex going big though with that overclock. Genji main trying to dive into the backline, but I think Genji main is a bit too alone. Yes, there it is. Yoon finally gonna take them down, and the switch coming in for the DPS of Mi7.
Yeah, very good switch too, especially switching over to the Sombra and the Cassidy instead of the Mei Bastion. A little bit easier to deal with Magic Otter's ball as we head into a pause, unfortunately. Oopsies. But yeah, that was actually a really good fight for Cosmic, being able to really, they do use both Sojourn's overclock plus the nano. But also on the side of Mi7, they use both their DPS ults plus one support ult. So you do have the Rhino ultimate now, which again, like I said before, in Cosmic Castaways, you have the bulk up, which is much more mobile. Are you going to try to land for one, or are you going to try to land for the whole backline? It's sort of like, what are you going to do in that situation?
Exactly, and the swaps we saw coming in were really, one of them is kind of typical matchup. You see the Sombra against the Wrecking Ball all the time up to the highest level in Pro Play Overwatch League. One of the biggest counters, of course, to that tank. Magic Otter has been a bit of a pain in the neck of Mi7, so they're gonna try to stop that one. The other swap, DPS swap, was onto Cassidy. We'll have to see how that one goes around, but the magnetic grenade probably to latch onto Magic Otter. You know, if it goes back into the backline, it could potentially damage its own teams, its own supports. And Bunny, I believe, went onto the Kiriko, which is interesting to see, because I don't really see, maybe to try to cure the Bionade. I just realized that Ana from Cosmic Castaways has been really good, hasn't it? Hitting some good sleeves, some good nades for final blows even.
Yeah, and Jacob too isn't even part of the regular team. He's a ringer right now. I believe their starting main support, QB, is actually on vacation currently. He's on a 2-week vacation. Hopefully he's having a good time. Hopefully he's not missing out on this, and hopefully the Cosmic Castaways is able to make it to the finals without him. But yeah, Jacob was their old main support for last season, but like you said, he's been popping off, especially as a ringer. He's doing his own job. He's making sure he's staying alive for the team and is able to heal up everybody in a fair amount of time and make sure he's not dying first.
Exactly. Now we are resuming play with Cosmic Castaways at around 65%, but with Mi7 coming in hungry to get that last fight. Maybe you could have a recontest for Cosmic Castaways if they lose the point, and here we are, already the hack coming. Oh, that is such a big collapse onto Magic Otter that there is no chance that Wrecking Ball survives. A lot of ultimates come out. There is a Kitsune Rush for Cosmic Castaways. The sound barrier as well. Oh, the Lucio slept in the backline. That's going to be a dead Lucio. There it is. A double headshot from Aphex and Onyx as well. Taking down the main support. The sound barrier, like we said, did come out, and so Mi7 are still in control of this point, and with a percentage ramping up. Aphex trying to hit some nice shots onto the Sombra. Now that the Sombra is gone, the mines are out. Yoon takes down Lore, and this is exactly what Cosmic Castaways were looking for. The Tracer getting a 2, and the points did go to overtime for 99% for Mi7, but now it's just cleanup duty for Cosmic Castaways, who regain it.
Yeah, now Mi7 is really looking at a one-fight territory, and they only have Bunny's Kitsune Rush, but Genji main does switch over to the Junker Queen comp. You're talking about how strong they were. Hopefully Tanic was able to hold on and stay alive, but they are able to. So now it's only one ultimate and the overtime fight now. Ooh.
Laura goes in way too early, absolutely nothing to support that Cassidy. Genji main, though, does have the shout and does take down Jacob F, so that's going to be no anti, and more importantly, no nano going to be built. Laura going to be able to come back onto the Genji, but it might not be necessary. Bunny does take out the Kitsune Rush, and the DPS, no! Support DPS, they're going ham. They are good for 3. The pulse bomb is thrown out, but Yoon is going to be killed here. 2 for Kiriko, 2 for Lucio. Bunny and Boat Carrier getting Mi7 over the line. Again, Jermaine with a cleanup, but that one is just for show.
Yeah, that one's very true. So, especially since Bunny was able to get that Kitsune Rush off early on, being able to get those first 2 picks was actually really good. As we see a nice little replay here of Tanic B just killing everybody, which Tanic B actually was popping off, especially on the Mei in the first half, getting over to the Sombra, being able to be that little bit of a nuisance, especially against Yoon too, which is sort of something that we didn't really call on, but just being able to hack Yoon as that's just a nasty sleep. Even as an Ana player,
Absolutely
that's just nasty.
insane.
You know that Jacob has to be just hype as hell in the call right now.
Yep, and now we see the Reinhardt mirror. We were talking about the brawl that you can play here. Icebreaker, I think, is the epitome of it. Close quarters, different DPS lines. Lore is going to be on the Bastion again. Aphex still on the Sojourn, but everything else is the same for both teams. Swinging the hammer, respecting the honor for the battle. But for the moment, it is Cosmic Castaways that want to go over here onto the long side. Genji main swinging that big hammer. There is a Mei wall to isolate Yoon, and the Mei goes down. Lore takes down Aphex. That is no DPS for Cosmic Castaways. Surely this should be the fight win for Mi7 as Magic just goes down and clean up once again. Advantage Mi7.
Yeah, and especially with this sort of Rhine Mei mirror, Mi7 sort of has a little bit of a better poke because especially if you are able to wall off that Rhine with Lore's Bastion, you can just melt the shield. Whereas on Cosmic Castaways, having Aphex, you want to be able to get those little off angles, get that sort of solo kills, but it's two very similar styles, but at the same time, very different in how they want to play it.
Exactly, you gotta watch out as well for the headshot potential with a Mei right click. There was a Mei wall. I don't know if anyone was caught it here. Now this Sojourn shot trying to isolate the Bastion from Lore is gonna buy their team a little bit more time. And now to go on the flank, Yoon trying to go here. Ultimates are being built very, very slowly. Genji being slightly ahead, so this shatter could be whatever opens it. But we were talking about the headshots. There he is. Boat Carrier is gonna go down. The main source of heals for Mi7 is going to be gone. How well can they hold on? The Amplification Matrix does come out. It forces out the Immortality Field, which is going to get destroyed. Now there's a Rhine charging into the backline, but Shadow, I don't think it catches onto anyone. The Immortality Field is not good. Aphex is going to be good for 2. Actually, the Shatter comes out for a good measure for Magic, and that is Cosmic Castaways with the fight win. It was costly, but they got it.
Yeah, it was very costly needing to use Shatter, but even then, at the end of the day, being able to clean up on two people who could stall it for a pretty long time is fairly good. But now Cosmic Castaways have 2 ults, have Aphex's Overclock plus Nicc's Amplification Matrix, and are coming up in Jacob's Heat Drop, which could be a really good turning point, especially since Genji main does not have the Shadow of themselves. But Nicc is fairly close to the Mei freeze, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to use it here.
Yeah, there it is, the Overclock, the high impact ultimate. Yoon gets a great wall to isolate Lore, and already Nicc and now Lore have gone down. That combo is deadly with the Amplification Matrix and the Overclock. Now Aphex is just going to kill a standing bunny. That is 2 ultimates that they used. I said it was a costly fight before. It was a costly fight for Mi7 because they committed the Shatter and the Window. Now it was the turn for Cosmic Castaways to do it, and I think they're going to equalize on percentage.
Yeah, they should be around the same, probably around like 60 before they take another fight, but it's going to be interesting to see how Cosmic Castaways is able to hold it. Yoon is very close to the Mei freeze, but you hear Lore's 2-2 coming in, so what's going to happen now?
There it is, Bastion ultimate, and I was gonna say the Blizzard comes a bit earlier for Mi7. Nicc is able to get it. The bead is dropped as well from Jacob. Boat Carrier now gonna get their own out of the way, but Aphex still finding the headshot. The Immortality Fields are traded back and forth. Boat Carrier getting forced a bit onto the backline. That Genji main is going to die. That Rhine is dead, and Cosmic Castaways keep running away with it. They are cycling these ultimates perfectly.
Yeah, they honestly are. Lore was just trying to get that opening pick, but then as soon as Nicc actually really found a really good opening with using the Mei freeze, but Yoon was able to capitalize right on it again. Magic, but now Cosmic Castaways 1 fight territory for Mi7. They do have the Shatter and the Amplification Matrix up, whereas Cosmic Castaways, they're close to the Overclock as well as Magic Otter's Shatter, so hopefully he's going to try to get 1 here.
Oh, Aphex already gets bunny. It does get the Amplification Matrix out. The main wall gonna be there to negate it. Magic Otter with the Shatter. It's going to catch on to Genji main on the Reinhardt, and it is all it picks going the way of Cosmic Castaways. That fight was so fast. Someone stalling here on point. It was Boat Carrier's Lucio. Now Lore's Hanzo. But that's gonna be all she wrote. Cosmic Castaways equalize at 1 apiece.
Yeah, they do. And on the back of Aphex, the about to be shuffleboard pro, apparently he's going to Thailand in a few months to try to pursue professional shuffleboarding. But yeah, Aphex was just carrying that fight, even though as much as we talk about what Magic Otter was able to do, getting this nice 2 cleanup, but Aphex was just going off with the Overclock, with the rail shots, just being able to pop off completely and being that nice little sort of being able to get those off angles as well, so that way Mi7 didn't just go in at full strength. They were always down 1 or 2 at the very start of the fight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you take a look at those replays every single time. All 3 fights, it was either 1 or 2 kills from Aphex to open it up. Now we go into this sub-level last point. Whoever wins it takes it home. Aphex gonna stay on that Sojourn compositions. Pretty much the same. Magic still on the right. And Lurer back to the Bastion. They've made it work before. They are gonna try to go for it again. Now Maywall is going to be good. Who is it going to catch now? The counter Maywall from Yoon is going to isolate. Genji main is not going to be good for any picks, at least not just yet. The Sojourn here pressuring Lurer a lot, but the Bastion is going to stay alive for the moment. Now another Maywall coming up here could be huge. Aphex has gone into the backline. Who is going to die? Tanic B is forced to use that ice block. Now Lurer in this tank configuration trying to put all that damage. In the meantime, the point is being slowly captured. I don't know who is down there, but the high ground control that is so important is in the hands of Mi7. Now they are going to drop down to this point, and Tanic B hits a headshot onto you, and that's the opening that they needed. The Maywall comes out. This Bastion has so much damage. Magic is in trouble. The immortality field did come out from Bunny, but Lurer does take down Magic Bunny there. The end. Mi7 still fighting for this point, but Cosmic Castaways are slowly dropping. There it is. The point capture finally for them.
Yeah, especially with Yoon dying first, losing that Maywall, especially against Lurer's Bastion, it's massive, because you basically are able to block off almost an entire shield fight. You basically get your shield up, I believe, to about half HP in one wall, and just being able to not block that with damage at all. Now it's just Mi7's needing to hold this fight now with Cosmic Castaways getting up to 3 ultimates.
Yeah, but Tanic B is building up to this blizzard. It could be crucial. The immortality field does come out. There's a shatter online for Genjimin, but Lurer takes down June. Genjimin, the hammer takes down Magic. No ultimates are going to be needed to win this fight aside from the amplification matrix. That was a masterclass fight from Mi7.
Yeah, it really was, only using 1 ultimate, whereas Cosmic Castaways, they do have 3 online and are getting close to 2 more with Yoon's Blizzard as well as Jacob's Beat Drop. But now, as long as Mi7 is able to cycle their ultimates well enough, they can basically take this fight to winning it, since it's already at 60%.
Yeah, it was a blink and you miss it. Now another fight up here. There is going to be the blizzard. Oh, that wall was absolutely perfect. It is going to be death in the sub-level map. Aphex does get one with the overclock. It's going to force out the sound barrier, but it is just Lurer show right here. Gets all the picks. That's Sojourn. I don't know how they're still alive. There it is. Of course, it's going to be Lurer for the final one. And speaking of final, last fight territory and map territory for Mi7 to win.
Yeah, whereas Mi7 now, they do have Lurer's Bastion ulti and getting main Shatter, but on the side of Cosmic, you don't really have an ultimate. You do have Jacob being able to get the beat drop plus Yoon's as May Freeze. So if they're able to fall and get one, then it could be good, but it just looks like it's Mi7's fight to lose.
It could be absolutely massive, like you said. Mi7's fights to lose. And I don't know if there's a Sombra here in the server, because my feed is absolutely going ham. But speaking of going ham, who is it going to be that marks the difference in this fight? I am back to normal speed. And speaking of speed, no one wants to slow down Cosmic Castaways, throwing everything that they have. All the ultimates, the Blizzard came out, the Sound Barrier came out, and now Magic is going to be coming out with the first pick. Yoon gets the second, but Lurer is going to be there for the trade. What is going on? The Sombra again affecting my feed. Where is this EMP coming from?
I don't know, but I see I see Magic Otter at half HP, maybe. It's coming back. Maybe.
Question mark?
Something happened, and we don't know what. Internet moment. Unfortunately, we'll hopefully be back in a second. But
there's a Sombra in our backline. It's not in the server. It's clearly in someone's house. It's not a Jake Red. It doesn't have a rib tire. But it is as frightening. Like you said, we'll try to get back into it as soon as we can. But for the moment, Karma, do you think that fight was going to be won by Mi7 or Cosmic Castaways based on those first 3 picks that we saw?
Honestly, I think it was going to go to Cosmic Castaways' way, especially with them being able to get those 2 really good kills onto both. I believe both their backline fell on the side of Mi7. But like I said, Magic Otter was at half HP, getting melted by Lurer, so it could have turned it. But it's at that point right now where it's 3-3. We're hopefully going to be in soon, but Nicc is currently trying to figure something out, restarting Overwatch. So we'll be back in a second.
Hear a
hopefully.
Hammond in my ears.
I hear a Hammond in my ear every once in a while. I think I heard a barrage for some reason.
A barrage? I didn't hear that.
I don't know. We're losing our mind right now.
I can hear Lucio jumping.
Now I don't hear anything. I did hear Lucio jumping every once in a while, but yeah, well, who knows? Who knows what's happening? But let's
These teams are certainly going hard at it.
Yeah, they're going hard. They're crashing the server apparently. But in the other match that's going on, Paradise is up 1-0. Should be up momentarily for this match, but Paradise is up 1-0 already against season 9 winners REM, which that's already insane. That's already going a different way, but it sounds like we might be back. Maybe. I'm hearing some stuff in my that's not lagging, so
I hear the main menu music and it sounds smooth, like you said. It doesn't sound like it's lagging, so maybe we get into this fight soon. Don't fret, don't worry. We'll get it as soon as we can. Let's do a little recap, right? Shall we? Yeah. We saw in the first round Mi7 come out with that Reinhardt composition that they've been running all throughout. Cosmic Castaways, they have the Wrecking Ball. They can't really make it work. It wasn't super dominant, but still, Mi7 looked like they were more in control. Then Cosmic Castaways go over to Icebreaker, and Aphex is absolutely popping off on the Sojourn. Here in the third round, it looked like Mi7 were in the driver's seat again. So, Carmen, my question to you is, are Cosmic Castaways doing anything fundamentally wrong with their composition? Do you think that Reinhardt has a fundamental advantage over the Wrecking Ball? Or is it just team diff, if you will?
No, I don't think they're doing really anything wrong with the Wrecking Ball. It's very difficult, especially on a control map, to hold. But especially with the Wrecking Ball, you're able to separate a lot. And I think they were doing it well. Like we saw in first point, it wasn't really Mi7's. They weren't really strong with it. It went 199, so they weren't doing it bad. I think, honestly, in second point, it showed the Cosmic strengths because they were able to get it so completely. But as we're heading in now, so Cosmic did win the fight. And Genji main is now on the Junker Queen at 56%, and Laura is on the Sombra. So something happened.
That's certainly something. Tanic B as well on the Tracer. Yoon on the Tracer? I guess Magic Otter, Onyx, and Jacob are the only ones that are still on the same picks. Bunny switched over to the Kiriko a while ago, I think. Boat Carrier as well on the Lucio. Magic Otter now being pressured. There is a lot of pressure here from Mi7 trying to quickly get into the point. They have 99%. The Kitsune Rush is going to be popped from Onyx. Yoon as well, looking into the backline, trying to get that pulse bomb. Could be cleansed by Kiriko, though, trying to force that one out. Aphex is going to take care of Laura, so that's going to be no EMP for them. Bunny pops a Kitsune Rush. Maybe this could be the advantage that Mi7 are looking for. Tanic B is going to be good for one, and it's a crucial one. The tank goes down for the side of Cosmic Castaways. The sound barrier from Jacob F is going to be thrown out, as well as the pulse bomb from Yoon that doesn't catch anything. That's a big Rampage is going to catch on to 3, I believe. Now the point is in control of Mi7. It is 99% for both teams, but in control is the blue side. Onyx is good for one, but Tanic B is going to be there for the trade. That was a funny one with the pulse bomb. EMP is big, but Yoon and Magic Otter are doing some magic as well. Now there's a Lucio and a Junker Queen in the point. They are going to get one, and the shout is here. Boat Carrier doing everything that they can to keep Genji main alive. Magic Otter suffering here, but Genji main is going to take down Yoon, and that's the main source of damage gone for Cosmic Castaways, who is going to be here for the regroup. It should be Onyx. I don't know who that is in the backline. Maybe Aphex. Now the Wrecking Ball here trying to stall as much as possible, but when the Sombra comes in, there is nothing you can do. Laura good for 2, Genji main with 1, and now surely this is the Mi7 win.
Yeah, Mi7 was able to clutch it out at the very last second. You were able to stop talking, but yeah, no, as soon as Laura was able to come back on the Sombra, it basically just shut down all of Cosmic Castaway's stall. Aphex could play the game as they should, but Cosmic Castaways, they were able to turn that very, very well, especially running that ball comp, something that it looks like they look fairly comfortable on, as Aphex just popped off. But that's just, the ball comp is something that's very interesting as well, going through everything that we saw, being able to play it on 2 maps and play it very well. This is very, very a fill game, because 2 maps went 100, 199. The only one that didn't was the one that Cosmic Castaways won, where Cosmic Castaways looked dominant basically the entirety of the fight. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially where we go to next, since Cosmic Castaways has the map choice and the map pick. But we are going we already got it confirmed. We're going to Paraiso.
Oh, Paraiso.
So
okay, that's interesting.
it is very interesting. So this is something too that Cosmic Castaways said that's their favorite map. So it could be good for the side of Cosmic Castaways, but like we said, or like I've been saying, they're both very similar. Like even though it is 1-4, you saw it already. It went 199 each time. Mi7 had 99-0 in this last sub level of Antarctic Peninsula. And Cosmic Castaways was able to turn it up to 11, trying to get that 100%, but just weren't able to get over that little hump right there, right at the very end.
We talked about it, right? In both of their previous games in the quarterfinals, both went to Game 7. Now they are hungry for more. I wouldn't be surprised if this series went the distance. I was very surprised to see Paraiso because basically all the last games that I have casted for Tranquility have all gone to King's Row. It is our most beloved map, of course, Scrim's Row for Hybrid. But now you've got Cosmic Castaways with their map pick, like you said, their favorite map, and as well denying Mi7 of that rush brawl style that they play so well. We saw them on the Reinhardt. They were a force to be reckoned with, as well as with their stalls. That Lucio was absolutely magnificent from the side of Mi7. So maybe Cosmic Castaways trying to deny a little bit of that in here. With our beautiful Brazilian map coming up though, Karma, what compositions do you expect to be ran by either of the teams?
I wouldn't be surprised if Cosmic Castaway sticks with that ball comp. It looked good. I think they feel good with it. I think it's also something that you can run fairly well, especially on this map. The one that I like to call the sort of first point, like a fishbowl point. You have all the high ground surrounded by it. I think it's very good, especially with the ball being able to being able to just sort of slide off the sides and being able to slam back on. I think we'll probably see a lot of Winston as well for the side of Mi7, Genji main, switching over to the Winston instead of the Reinhardt. I think that could be very good. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that sort of dive, as well as maybe a Pharah comp too. I think the geometry really favors a Pharah / Echo on these points. I think it's something that I really like to watch, especially being able to just sort of manipulate that high ground on pink. But I just gotta say something. You said you always get King's Row. I always get this map for some reason. This is everybody plays this map whenever I cast it. So I guess we sort of equaled each other out right there. I get it this time, but I'm excited to watch it, especially with how sort of interesting this map plays, especially with second point that we didn't even talk about, the favela portion that I like to call it. Just so difficult to be able to capture that second point with the amount of different high grounds that you can go through, and just something that's very difficult to be able to push through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the magic of this map, like you said, is that reasonably you can run any, I don't want to say any composition, but you can get away with a lot of stuff. Like you said, in that first portion, that first capture point, there's a lot of open space in the air. You can fly up with the Pharah, with the Echo, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Junker Queen either. The Sigma, I was thinking about it on the side of the attack. Magigator is going to be their Genji main. On the defense, can't switch, so we know that is definitive. Nicc on the Genji, Laura on the Sojourn, Bunny on the Kiriko that we've seen before, and Majestic coming in with the sub for that Lucio play. On the side of Cosmic Castaways, I think the lineup is the same. Maybe they're going to run with double flex support, which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, they're running the double flex support, which sort of is interesting, especially I'm completely wrong, I guess, with this comp. Genji main running the Junker Queen and Cosmic Castaways running the sort of standard Circuit Royale comp on double sniper comp on Paraiso instead.
I mean, maybe they have something up their sleeve. Maybe we have something that they don't know. For the moment, it's going to be a lot of poke here on Magigator trying to get up to this high ground. We know Aphex is very much prolific in that aim. We haven't really seen it from the side of you, but now claiming the high ground here. We see Genji main and Nicc trying to make an attempt. They're going to retreat, and Cosmic Castaways, they realize this is not what they need. Yoon already on the Mei, Aphex on the Cassidy, Magigator on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, they're switching to the Brawl comp, which honestly I think could be really good, especially against this Junker Queen comp, especially if you just decide to run to point, just forego the high ground. You can sort of run and turtle onto the point, which looks like that Castaways is trying to do right now.
That's exactly what they're trying to do, but Laura is going to be there with the destruction. That Sojourn is so powerful still. Not overpowered by any means like it used to be, but still good for so many kills now in the small room. Nicc and Bunny are having a field day.
Yeah, they are, but yeah, you just gotta sort of. I feel like with the comp that Cosmic Castaways wants to run, you sort of need to hide into that pink room until you see Genji Main use the shout of Junker Queen to be able to sort of get close to you, and then the second that wears off, you speed out with Jacob just around the corner. But now it looks like they're trying to go to the high ground, try to convince Mi7. You know what? You don't need this high ground. We want it instead.
Exactly. Now they are finally fighting on even territory, forcing Mi7 off their preferred positioning. We see Laura here, the main source of damage. Aphex trying to get those long distance shots as well. The aim is on point. There is a shout that you were talking about. Oh, Nicc has been caught out, but there is a good anti-nade, I believe. I don't know where that purple came from. Must have been the ultimate from Genji Main, and it's good for the fight win.
Yeah, that was Genji Main popping their rampage, getting it already to 15%. But yeah, especially when you're in that very little corridor that's on that high ground right there, just being able to get almost everybody, especially since Cosmic Castaways, they don't have a cleanse from Kiriko. Just being able to get that purple and just delete them immediately is insane. But Nicc is looking for people right now, and I think he's gonna be ready to use his blade as the second that they find him.
Yeah, and you've got this overclock almost here. Aphex dropping very low. On the other side, you've got Yoon with a Blizzard. Onyx with the Amplification Matrix as well, going to give them a lot of space here. Laura has been locked out, but this Maywall, they're going to try to destroy it. There is an ult fest going over here. I can see the Dragon Blade has been pulled out from Nicc. Is actually going to get two. Magic Otter was able to get Genji Main on the pin. Now the Shatter comes through, but Laura is going ham with this overclock now. Finally, the Mei is going to be the last one. Oh, what a beautiful headshot. Laura once again saving the fight for Mi7.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, Laura was, but Nicc using that blade, being able to find two, just sort of was a turning point there, especially because they did use multiple ultimates to try to hold on to it. They used basically everything. The only thing they have now is Jacob's beat, which is close by, and Mi7. Again, the only thing that they have is Majestic's beat. So now it's going to be to see who can use it the best to try to keep their team alive.
Oh, and Aphex has gone back to the Widowmaker, but Laura's Disruptor shot gets Onyx. That is so dangerous, and now Cosmic Castaways are going to have to retreat if they want anything but Magic Otter is surely going to die here. All the picks going in favor of Mi7, and it's going to have to be a very fast recontest.
Yeah,
Yoon already on the Tracer.
Yeah, Yoon's hopping over to the Tracer. Aphex might try to keep on the Widow just to get those early picks. But Magic Otter switching over to the ball, and Jacob, again, only has the beat on the side of Cosmic Castaways. So they should be able to stall this for a bit if they're able to stay alive and get some picks.
I should be able to touch. There goes the slam. Gets booped away. Hits up play from Majestic. Genji Main already going for their shout. A bit premature. And Aphex already with that shot that you were saying gets bunny, but traded by Laura. Yoon drops very low. Has to use that recall. Nicc now here in the backline with the Genji. That Dragon Blade is still a bit too far away. Jacob is dropping the beat. Majestic a bit too far away. Genji Main the next up, coming back with maybe a chance for a rampage, but there is a lot of damage on the side of Cosmic Castaways. Now there is a blade here trying to go into the backline, building it for Nicc is going to get two with the help of Laura. This Soldier is putting in the work, and there it is. The DPS duo is lethal from the side of Mi7.
Yeah, Nicc just being able to dash through everybody with Laura's disruptor shot, or E, and Genji Main just going in as well with a shout. It's just clean from the side of Mi7, just almost dismantling Cosmic Castaways' attack side right there.
Yeah, and it was the DPS show, I think, from kind of the second half of the point on. You can see here the Dragon Blade from Nicc, but also at the end of that fight, there were two picks from Laura onto the Sojourn. We were praising Aphex for their aim, but silently Laura has positioned themselves as kind of a hit scan specialist, I'd say, with some crucial picks both on the Bastion and the Sojourn. And Nicc as well demonstrating that flexibility that is needed to run the Mei, the Genji, basically everything that they need for this composition, right?
Yeah, they really are, especially with even like you were saying, Nicc or Laura being able to sort of aim aim Aphex on this point. It's sort of difficult to see, especially on Bastion on Antarctic Peninsula, but it's interesting to see how they're able to play this, especially now. My guess is that the Life Weaver isn't true, but the Sombra could be, especially if you're predicting Cosmic Castaways to go to the Wrecking Ball again. You've seen it so far in 2 maps. they could go to it, but Aphex sticking with it. So this Cosmic Castaways sort of sticking with his double sniper, going to the Ash now, and double flex support with the Kitsune, with the Kiriko and the Ana.
It's certainly interesting to see the double sniper gonna be heavily reliant on the aim, but finally we see the Kiriko coming out of Cosmic Castaways to counter that Junker Queen that Genji main has been so prolific on. Lore on the Sombra as well, we know how good they can be, but a bit of a deviation from what we expected. Oh, already trying to go into the backline, already hacking Aphex, but oh, that's just filthy from the Widowmaker! Is gonna completely stall this push from Mi7.
Yeah, they're gonna stall it, but I feel like it won't be stalling for long. Genji main is already up the stairs. I feel like they can combine with Nicc to find maybe Jacob, especially since they're sort of out of the way.
Yeah, and here there goes the dive, almost. The pinch between Nicc, but he's gonna get taken down by Yoon. What are these snipers from Cosmic Castaways? They flipped on the switch or something. Clearly, they don't have hacks. Of course, that would go against competitive integrity, but it feels like they do. Aphex now taking down Lore, who switched over to the Widowmaker, and it is a catastrophic push for Mi7.
Yeah, you thought they were gonna do it good. Obviously, Lore died first after trying to get it, but Onyx is
what are these staggers?
What is this? Yeah, Cosmic Castaways getting that last 3, being able to stagger it. Now you gotta fight at probably 225 now. But yeah, it's just this is just a nasty shot. That's just nasty. There's nothing about it. Aphex, that's just nasty. You can't be doing that.
Like you said, you can't be doing that. It should be forbidden. I don't have any words to describe it aside from filthy. I don't know why they showed it again. But you know, you do you, I guess, replay operators. Just kidding. We love you very much. We appreciate you very much. Lore now trying to go on this Widowmaker duel, getting shot by Aphex, and there it is, Nicc with a confirmation now. Genji main trying to rush down Magic Otter. This combo between the Junker Queen and the Genji has been deadly. Yuna is going to be good for one off the Nicc, but Lore and Majestic are finding the pigs, and there it is, a Kiriko going. Surely this is a point capture for Mi7, and that is going to be all that they need to finally get the victory here in map 2 as well and go up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, that was really good. Obviously, Aphex was able to sort of hold Mi7 back a bit, but the second that Aphex was sort of collapsing, they were able to collapse on them. Mi7 was just taking advantage of it, especially Nicc here on the Genji, just being able to get that slash and dash. But this nice little 4K is insane.
Exactly.
It's clean. It's just clean.
You said it right there. It is clean. I think that is one of the best words to describe Mi7. We're just gonna forget about that little dive pinch that they tried to do on their first attack fly. We're just gonna focus on the rest of their gameplay because everything has been so good. The coordination between Nicc and Genji main, Lore with the headshots, and Bunny and Majestic, the silent carries in the backline. We've had some moments of brilliance from Cosmic Castaways. We're gonna see that replay again. But Mi7 are just too clean.
Yeah, they're just way too clean, and it's something too where it's like you got to look back at what the head coach of Cosmic Castaways was saying, that they didn't really prep all that much. Is this maybe fighting them in the butt about it? Maybe, but at the end of the day, it's just Mi7. That was just way too clean. I think if Aphex was able to stay alive during that last fight, I think they could have turned it. But just after that, almost no pressure from the Widow. Then you see Lore being able to build up the confidence, get one more pick, and then they were just able to flip it on his head right there, and Mi7 was able to win the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And the most important thing, I think, right now is that Mi7 took away Cosmic Castaways' map pick. They won the map that Cosmic Castaways should have been good on. Maybe Mi7 knew that Paraíso was the map that they were going to go to. Maybe they did some special prep. I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. But the mental is completely in favor of Mi7. Momentum is for them. Now they're going to go to Junkertown, another open sightlines map. Clearly, they think this sniper is the way to go. They have Yoon. They have Aphex. They are two very good aimers. But on the side of Mi7, Nicc is very good with the Genji dive. And as well, Lore has demonstrated to be a more than capable Widowmaker. So I have to ask you, Karma, do you think this is the right choice by Cosmic Castaways? Or are they going to go down to series point? Are they going to need the reverse sweep?
I think this could be a really good pick for Cosmic Castaways, especially since you did see them start off on the Sigma double sniper comp to start out Paricio. They did switch right away as soon as they saw the Junker Queen, but I feel like on this map, you don't really want to run a Junker Queen. It's very long. Like you said, it's long sightlines. It's very long fights that you have. So I feel like that Sigma comp could go really good, and especially since they were willing to run it on Paricio. I feel like they're willing to run it on Junkertown, especially with how long the sightlines are. Just set up Aphex, let him pop off, set up you and let him pop off, and just let your backline just sort of heal and poke broad as they can. And hopefully they're just hoping that Mi7 takes that little bit of a misstep that they could take. But again, Mi7, if they're playing the Junker Queen comp like they were running before, and they were able to do that again on Junkertown, I think this could go to map series, and I think Cosmic Castaways is all but wrapped up in a nice little bow, a nice little 4-0 sweep.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This has to be the swinging point. The sniper battle is going to be there. I would be very surprised if it weren't. The rest of the team is going to get a chance to shine as well. Genjimane probably going to bring out that Sigma, like you said. Definitely, we are going to see the Sigma from Magic Otter. Would be very surprised if we didn't. We could see some Winston as well. We're no strangers to a bit of a dive-ish style in this map as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 3 completely different compositions in all 3 points. Really, that's kind of the beauty of escort maps. But Cosmic Castaways, like we said, it is not just in the server that they need to shine. They need something big outside of it. They need a mental reset. They need their confidence back. They need some magic. The question is, are they going to be able to find it, or are Mi7 going to run away with this one? Karma, I know we usually don't do predictions, but this is the swing map, like we said. So I gotta ask you, personally, what do you think is going to happen? Are Mi7 going to put themselves on series point, or are Cosmic Castaways going to be able to turn this back a little bit?
There's 2 ways that I feel like this could happen. This could either be a very competitive map, go to a 3rd point, go to overtime, or it's just going to be a absolute slaughter. And I feel like if I'm favoring absolute slaughter, I gotta favor Mi7. They're up 2-0. They're the #1 seed for it. As much as me and Magic Otter had a great conversation talking about it before the match, I'm sorry, but they just look too clean right now. If it's going to that overtime where it's 3 points and it's long and dragged out, I could see Cosmic Castaways taking this advantage, trying to get over that hump finally. And also, one thing I didn't mention too is I could see that ball comp coming out, which Cosmic Castaways was able to play very well into that running comp of Mi7 and Genjimane. So it's sort of all on conflict. If it's an absolute slaughter that we see at first point, I favor Mi7. Overtime, I gotta go the underdog and go with Cosmic Castaways able to drag it out finally.
Like you said, we're gonna have to see who is where. It looks like Mi7 are on defense. So this is the scenario I was hoping for, because just like you mentioned, if there is a hole here on first point, it is going to come from the side of Mi7. This could shape up the map, the entire map, as we know it. And they're going to not run this sector. They're going to go with their tried and trusted with Lower on the back, and it could be on the May. Instead of Cosmic Castaways, Magic Otter hovering the road, but it's a spot fix. Actually, that Widow is gone. Aphex already switching over to the Sojourn, trying to get that high ground, but Lorer putting in the work, trying to get that grenade. The Zenyatta as well, getting the help that Aphex needs for that first pick, and now it is going to be the retreat. There was a big anti-nade as well from Jacob, who's going to end up claiming the final blow. Nicc now just has to get out with a May here, and the first fight win goes to Cosmic Castaways, and they're going to be able to push.
Yeah, I think this is honestly the best case scenario for Cosmic Castaways as Magic Otter decides to switch back over to the Sigma. But I honestly, I wish they kept the ball there. The ball was working very good. It was working on Antarctic Peninsula. Obviously, you do want to run the Sigma just to help your snipers out a bit, but I feel like, especially with them running that Sigma, as you do need to get on the point, by the way, Cosmic. You can't just let it doesn't move by itself. But Mi7 could just run down the Sigma like they're going to try to do right here.
That is exactly what they're going to try to do. This Sigma is gone. It's going to be deleted. Should be deleted very fast. Lorer trying to stay a bit back. Finally, Genjimane is going to be the one to come out on top, and it is a complete collapse. Bunny, the one to get the final blow. But Nicc was putting in the work, already at 90% towards that Blizzard, and the reset comes through from Cosmic Castaways. The Wrecking Ball is here.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball is back up for Magic Otter, but who knows? That could be the turning point, especially with Nicc having this freeze already. But if they're able to separate them, with Cosmic Castaways being able to just sort of get some picks, with Aphex getting off onto the different sight lines here. But never mind. I talked way too soon.
Aphex is gone. Lore once again demonstrating that sniper prowess, and the difference between the tank ultimates is absolutely brutal here. Magic Otter having swapped not once but twice already, only 50% to that minefield. Genji main here, Shatter already online. Nicc with the Blizzard online. Bunny, Majestic, and Lore, all of them very close to the ultimates. I wouldn't be surprised if this were a good hold for Mi7. They're going to start it off with a pick already onto Onyx. No Transcendence is going to be here. This Zenyatta really hasn't been shining. And now they're going to try to retreat, and with Lore getting another one onto Aphex, maybe they're going to fall. Yes, there it is. Magic Otter gets it. But this is the fight win, surely, for Mi7.
Hopefully, as long as they don't lose somebody else.
Dragon Strike?
Back, but Dragon Strike does go on from Yoon. But yeah, Mi7 does have 4 ultimates online, whereas Cosmic, they barely have 2 up right now. The only thing that they could do is if Magic Otter does hit a very big minefield here.
Yeah, they need Onyx to build up this Transcendence, but it's going to be once again the opening pick. Flum Lore gets traded by Aphex, but they can just press Q and nothing will be able to save them. Magic Otter does force out the Immortality field. Maybe there's going to be something here. Bunny pops the Amplification Matrix at this window of death and healing. Yoon does take down Nicc, so that Blizzard, I don't know if it ended up being used at the beginning of the fight. Aphex, pops the Overclock. Maybe that's a lot of damage. No picks found, but Magic Otter is going to help to find Bunny. Yoon takes down Genji main. Onyx takes down Majestic, and finally, Cosmic Castaways are able to win the fight. Will they be able to capture the point? Yes, they will.
Yes, they will. Luckily, Lore decides, I'm going to keep my life here, try to hold this high ground, which is very difficult, especially if it's with Mi7 being very close and holding that and keeping that brawl comp. If they do get a stop here on this high ground, it could be very difficult for the side of Cosmic Castaways to try to lead fight this, but Magic Otter is just trying to kick them off of it as much as he can. I think something happened, because I cannot hear you as the enemy man gets 3. But yeah, Mi7 just being able to turn the fight there, just sort of running over Cosmic Castaways, but now they're just going to try to hold the high ground, but...
Caster moment right there.
Caster moment. Okay, I was terrified for a second.
Sorry about that. I have terrible allergies. I have to blow my nose. And speaking of blowing the head off of Aphex, that's gonna be Lore. Dragon Strike forced out from Yoon. Doesn't really get anything. These Dragon Strikes haven't really been too good, either as zoning or damaging ultimates, which is kind of the main purpose that they serve. And Mi7, they have found themselves a pretty good niche here. Little safe spot on the high ground.
Yeah, as we see, Cosmic Castaway switching over to the brawl style as well. Nicc and Jacob, they both have their ultimate, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pop it here to try to hold on to this fight and switch right away. But Lore just finds Yoon again immediately. But Magic Otter is going with the nano, but finds 3 almost, gets the shatter out.
That is a massive for Cosmic Castaways.
Yeah, Aphex just got 4 there as well, and they're 60% to the high noon, which it's not a good ultimate, but hey, it can happen. But yeah, that was massive for Cosmic Castaways, especially being able to use the nano and pull out 2 ultimates for the side of Mi7 with the Amplification Matrix and the Shatter. But Nicc has the EMP plus the Dragons coming up from Horror.
Yeah, the Dragon Strike is going to come here, but like you said, 2 very important ultimates in both the Shatter and the Window are not going to be available for Mi7. They do have the EMP, they're going to have the beat. Majestic's still a bit too far away. Oh, but that EMP is big, it hits 3. This is the collapse going to be coming through. Nicc unable to find Onyx, and maybe they're going to struggle a little bit, but no, Lore takes down Yoon in the backline. Jacob just take down Bunny. Magic Otter has a Shatter here to duel the Reinhardt. Genjamin is at 1 HP, a sliver of health, but he's going to be kept alive. Now Lore putting all the pressure into the backlane is going to get that hacked health pack. Is Reinhardt from Genji main. That Sombra proving really useful. At this point, now there's going to be the battle. The Reinhardt, the Sombra has to translocate away. Mi7 holding their ground. They have this sound barrier. They are building up to a Shatter. They are building up to a Dragon Strike as well. And this Sombra is putting in the work, but maybe Magic Otter can hit a fatty shotty like we call them here, but no, it's actually going to hit a big fire strike. Now everything is going to be so much easier. Aphex as well trying to click heads, and there it is. The overtime wick starts burning, but finally Cosmic Castaways are going to be able to get the fight win and the point capture.
Yeah, they're finally able to do it with perseverance from Aphex being able to just sort of hard carry that first fight, being able to win it. But now Cosmic Castaways is coming in close to 5 ultimates, but it's still a tough time to tell. Magic Otter getting a great fire strike on the Majestic right there, really opening that final fight. But Mi7 only really having 2 ultimates, getting close to Lore's Hanzo, so who knows if they're able to hold, if they're able to get it and pop it, and hopefully Lore's able to get that opening pick.
And now Cosmic Castaways are able to get this high ground control, but Aphex gets deleted off the face of the earth. That fire strike had some venom behind it from Genji main. Now forced to back away is the side of Cosmic Castaways. There was a tank trapped in here. That is the press forward button signal for Genji main. Bunny is going to help to take down Onyx. And all those ultimates that are online or coming online for Cosmic Castaways aren't really going to have any impact, at least on this first fight.
Yeah, at least they didn't decide to use a single ultimate. They're just waiting in spawn, waiting for Magic Otter. But like I was gonna say, Mi7 now they are up to 4 ultimates with Bunny getting the amplification matrix. The only thing they don't have is Tanic B's.
That's dangerous. That Dragon Strike could have been very dangerous. I don't know where the damage was lacking. Magic Otter is going to get Tanic B, and Aphex with the zoning Deadeye. Something happened in there. I don't know. There was a lot of damage being thrown out. The Blizzard does not come out. Actually, Lore gets a crucial pick onto Yoon, and now Bunny is going to get onto Aphex with the help of the Amplification Matrix. That window of death and healing is going to put in the work. Bunny is still getting the picks. Genji main swinging the hammer surely should get the kills, and there it is. Overtime is burning once again, but I don't think Cosmic Castaways have what it takes. The main wall to block off the player. Oh, the contest is actually going to come through from Yoon. That ice block is not melting away the wall. Here is the stall, and the spawns favor Cosmic Castaways, but Mi7 have a very solid grip on here. Finally, the kills are going to come through. Magic Otter comes back on the Wrecking Ball, but the longer they stall, the faster the overtime wick is going to burn when they get off the card. And finally, Lore gets to pick. Surely that's it. There it is. In overtime point 2, Mi7 are able to stop the card.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Yoon, just being able to finally get their freeze, start to throw it out, and Lore just throws a log their way. It's rough for Yoon right there. But now you look back at it, Cosmic Castaways, like I was saying before, if it's more of an overtime push, I favor Cosmic Castaways being able to hold on to it. And I feel like they really could, especially if Mi7 decides to stick with this brawl comp, especially on point 1. If you're able to hold on to the ball comp, with the Wrecking Ball comp for Magic Otter, I think it could go really good, especially for Cosmic Castaways being able to try to first hold Mi7. But it's going to be rough for them to try to hold it, especially now that you didn't go to overtime. It's you either win or now you're down 3-0.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Sigma composition that you said you didn't quite like. Magic Otter, we saw it very briefly, but they're going to do it on the defense. They can't really go back and switch Yoon on the Hanzo Aphex with finally that sniper that we were looking for. And Onyx and Jacob have swapped their picks. Onyx is now going to play the Baptiste, and Jacob is going to play the Zenyatta, moving away from that main support role that they had been playing before. Mi7, I'm not really going to talk about that composition because Doomfist and Wife Lever, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, no, and I feel like also I actually really like the Sigma comp on defense. I feel like on attack it's just rough.
Wait, is the Doomfist going to happen?
The Doomfist, is it?
The Doomfist is happening? Genji main is going with the Doomfist. Okay.
Okay, I mean, I honestly really like it, especially against Magic Otter Sigma, just being able to sort of punch him, but as long as you don't get stunned, like this is right there, but...
Caster Skir's at its finest.
Yeah, but Tanic B actually being on this Genji again, that's sort of my main lookout for on this sort of map, as Genji main just dies immediately on Doomfist.
Surely this Doomfist is not going to last. They don't have all the components that they need for the dive. Tanic B, we've seen their coordination is magnificent with Genji main, but there it is. Lore does take down Aphex, so now they're going to have the advantage on the respawn.
Yeah, they're going to, but now Genji main switches over to the Junker Queen, a style that we've seen this before, especially on Paricio, just being able to just sort of hard press W, especially with Tanic B's Genji being able to clean up a lot of the damage that is coming in.
Oh, Tanic B dropping very low, and Yoon actually doesn't get killed. That was a very dicey dive, and it does not pan out properly for the Genji. Magic Otter now gonna get another one, and Aphex getting the flick. onto Lore. Mi7 looking really disjointed here in their offense.
Yeah, they're actually looking a little bit shaky right now. Lore just Aphex just getting very clean shot, but this Widow duel between the Aphex and Lore is really going to be the turning point of this match. Who's ever is able to get the most kills is, I feel like, going to be the winner no matter what, because both teams are fighting blows. But right now, is Aphex trying to backpack Cosmic Castaways to a win.
Exactly, it is all about the opening pick, and the opening pick comes through from Yoon. Nicc does take down Aphex, which is the big offensive point for Cosmic Castaways. There was a Gravitic Flux as well. Picks traded back and forth, Lore putting in the work, but Jacob F and Onyx doing the DPS support impersonation. Now maybe that Zenyatta's gonna get obliterated, but no, the Sigma pressures of Lore. And this is a lot of time that is being wasted off the clock of the attack of Mi7.
Yeah, it really is, but now, especially with the Cosmic Castaways coming back from spawn, it's a fairly long walk to be able to try to respawn. But Aphex is back, and especially just trying to getting some nice picks, trying to find out where Lore is going to be peeking him from.
And this could be it. Nicc pressuring the backline onto Onyx, but isn't able to get the jump. Now there are 3 players here, and Lore is going to get the opening onto Aphex. There is no mercy to revive that now. Baptiste is in a world of hurt. Onyx getting pressured as well. Those infra sites so helpful. Yoon is going to let that Dragon Strike rip, trying to isolate the members, and now here Nicc gets finally all that pressure onto Jacob to translate into a pick, but a lot of players on Mi7 are very low, and the card wasn't moving, so maybe there's time for a recontest for the side of Cosmic Castaways. There's going to be a Kitsune rush into the small room, trying to get further pressure onto Cosmic Castaways, but that might have been a wasted ult.
Yeah, I feel like it really was, especially since Cosmic Castaways was already backing off. But now if you're Cosmic Castaways, you have both support ults. You're close to your window and you're close to the flux. Whereas like Hippy is popping the blade as well as the rampage, trying to find 2. They're able to find 1, but the flux is coming up from Magic Otter, trying to get people. And
wait,
Cosmic Castaways is turning it. They're turning it.
They're absolutely doing it. What was that magic?
That was magic. That was both support ults popped plus Magic Otter's flux. But now you look at Mi7, they're switching to the ball comp. They only have the Lucio beat to be able to hold it, plus your 50%.
They need to touch
to the noon, but they do need to touch. They have 15 seconds left on the clock for final fight.
Oh, and Aphex has the infra sights. That is going to be so crucial. They're going to know where everyone is. And Nicc already going down to Yoon. That is not good. The Dragon Blade was used in the previous fight, so it was not going to get built. Now Majestic with a self-sound barrier, but this looks like it's going to be a map win, a fight win, everything win for Cosmic Castaways as Yoon gets another one on the opener. Aphex finally getting that one onto Majestic. The Dragon Strike is ready here. Surely the Wrecking Ball is not going to be alive for much longer. Aphex, Onyx, everyone getting a pig, and that is going to be the map win. The pick from Cosmic Castaways does pay off.
Finally, they finally win 1 after being so close on Antarctic to put it away. They finally get their first one on Junkertown. Like we said, this is a swing map, and I think we are finally seeing it. Mi7 was able to capture both points in overtime. Unfortunately, wasn't able to push point 3 all the way, whereas they were able to hold Mi7 before they even captured first point. And Mi7, they looked clean on defense, but on that attack, they just looked that little bit too shaky, and it looked like Mi7 might have had a little bit of a misstep trying to go for this brawl with the Genji main Junker Queen, especially on attack. But at the end of the day, it's now Cosmic Castaways 1, Mi7 2, and it could be the swing point / turning point of the map.
I most definitely could be, but now it is going to be Mi7's map pick. That's how we roll here. Loser gets their map pick. The modes have been already established, and I believe we are going to have a push as our map number 4, the default map modes presets. But we will have to see that in a little bit, because we have a little tiny itsy bitsy, I don't know how to describe it, surprise cooked up for you, of course, because this is the main stream. We are going to have a wonderful desk of analysts to analyze the redundancies that I'm speaking. No, of course not. Not my lousy job as a caster, but rather the amazing job that both Mi7 and Cosmic Castaways displayed on the server. So don't go anywhere, stick around, or go over to watch the B stream. You choose analysis or gameplay on the other side of the bracket, but we are going to take a little break. We'll be right around the corner. Don't go anywhere.
welcome everyone to the halftime show. I am Dexatron, joined by Bernie and Stiko. Guys, that was a very key map there for the Cosmic Castaways. We were kind of talk about that they really needed to win that map there, or they were going to start to pretty much lose this series. Just what have you guys seen throughout these first 3 maps so far?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that I've seen is that it's been, first off, a really, really tight series. Although map 2 probably didn't go the way that Cosmic wanted it to. That was a little bit more of a further apart. The first map was insanely close going, the distance on all 3 maps, and then we're looking at, of course, Junkertown. That map really could have gone either way, just 1 or 2 ults used in a different way. Could have been the difference of Mi7 then snowballing and full capping 2nd and 3rd. But Cosmic do come away with a big key victory after being down 0-2. That's a great way to turn the mental around as we go into map 4.
Yeah, we have seen in the past, like, Cosmic really like to lean into a more brawl-oriented style with Aliagator, but this team, Mi7 are very, very good with like the May sort of comps, the May brawl, and it's really causing a lot of problems for Cosmic.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you guys there. But, just looking at these 2 teams, who is a member on each team that's kind of stood out, made their presence really be felt throughout these first 3 maps so far, whether in a good or a bad way, or just give me one of each, one good, one bad.
Yeah, I'll say one big, really, really insane thing that I've seen is Nicc be on the May. Generally, like Stiko said, Cosmic loves to play that brawl and loves to play the brawl mirror, but Nicc May has just been shutting it down at every corner, and it looks impossible. Even trying to play ball against the May, you're just getting perma-slowed the whole time, and the walls, trying to deal with those amazing walls during brawl, just so patient, but always ready to go fast as well. Nicc has just been really shutting down. And on the side of Cosmic, I think the obvious pick is Aphex. Just had some amazing play on Junkertown to turn the series around and really create that opening for Cosmic to go into map 4 with a more level head.
I would agree. I was gonna say Nicc. I think Nicc's been incredibly important. But another person that I think has been, crucial, it's Lore, the MVP of the tier. This guy is just proving why he got that award time and time again. It's extremely dominant for him. The DPS line of Mi7 is just putting on a clinic this game. Someone else, another person I'd like to mention is Nicc, my former teammate. I love that guy. He is very, very talented, and I feel like today has been very, very difficult to display, like, for the support line of Cosmic. I think it's been really rough. There's kind of picked off a lot early, so I would think that there's a lot of potential in the future for that support line to be a lot more of a threat for Mi7.
Yeah, but, heading into Junkertown there, especially with Bernie, you being a coach here for the Cosmic Castaways, the Paraiso map pick was one that you were kind of a little bit surprised to see come out for them there. What do you think the reasoning was behind that pick there for them?
I think that Paraiso does really play to our strengths, and one of our best holds as a team is our Paraiso defense. But it's really hard to turn a map around when we have that attack and we only get 1 tick, so they can play to a style that is we only need to get 1 tick, so we have a lot more opportunity to force the point, and Cosmic are not getting a recontest. Because we have great setups with Aphex on Widow on that defense, and we saw Aphex hit some amazing shots, but unfortunately if you lose that Widow duel just 1 time over a course of 4 minutes, you're going to lose the map because you didn't have a great attack. So I think that's the biggest issue, is that maybe our attack just wasn't as strong, and so we kind of fell short, and it was a lot easier for them to play that attack, only having to get half of the point.
Absolutely. And Stiko, heading into map 4 here, Mi7 just drops their first map here of this series. They're going to bring us into a push map here. Do you think that it is a must-win for them here going into map 4, or do you think that they can afford to lose this one and still feel pretty confident with the rest of the series?
I think this is must-win for Cosmic. I think Mi7, they already have that 2 lead. I think going up 3-1 for Mi7 is going to be extremely detrimental to Cosmic. Just in terms of a mental perspective, going down 3-1 is extremely hard to come back from. And I think it's just I think if Mi7 loses, they're gonna be fine, but if they win, it's gonna be very dire for Cosmic.
Yeah, but rest of the series about to come up here. What do you guys think for each team here they need to kind of improve on? Bernie, you can talk about the Castaways a little bit because you are Coach Stiko. Maybe focus on Mi7, but if you want to talk about something that the Castaways need to kind of work on here, because they're the underdogs at the moment, or the team that is currently losing. Just what does each side necessarily need to do to secure them a spot here in these grand finals?
Yeah, I think definitely for Cosmic, the biggest thing is that we just need to play more as a team, specifically looking at our backline and our supports. I've seen a lot of times where maybe Magic Otter's taking a lot of space and is playing a fight really well, and our supports are just too scared to walk up. And I think a big part of that is Mi7 just playing at a really, really fast tempo in a lot of these fights with the Junker Queen. And if our supports are able to walk up and maybe play a little bit more aggressively with Otter, I think we can get a lot more done as a team. As Stiko said earlier, Nicc is a really good support. I think maybe he just needs to have a little bit more confidence in how we can play against Mi7 despite their skill.
I would say that Mi7 are doing a great job at this right now, but I think there are like a lot of mistakes they're having in terms of playing for their win conditions here. Like there's a lot of times Magic Otter is playing hyper aggressive, whereas the support line, like Bernie said earlier, is a lot more passive and lacking confidence. And I think there are a lot of times where Otter doesn't get punished for that, where it would just be a free fight win if Mi7 capitalized on that a bit faster.
Yeah, but rest of the series, who do you think are the one member for each team that we need to kind of be focusing on as basically, if they do good, they're going to kind of lead their team to victories and maps?
For me, I definitely think that the number one player is just Aphex. We saw what he can do on Junkertown and Pariso. I mean, that guy's just a nutcase on the Widow or any hit scan that he plays, and that's if they are properly putting resources to let Aphex live and hold these aggressive angles. I think for sure Aphex can carry the rest of the series just like he did on Junkertown.
For me, I would say it's Tanic. Tanic B has been extremely consistent. The Mei is just single-handedly winning the tank mirror every single map. Yeah, I would say just Tanic B is someone to look at, pay attention to.
Yeah, Tank has been really good on the Mei. I want to give him some credit for all the other heroes they've played so far. But, you're focusing a lot on Aphex. Yoon, in my opinion, especially on Junkertown, towards the late minutes there on the defensive end for Cosmic Castaways, really did step up, in my opinion, and found a lot of great picks there. But, guys, just one word here, or a short statement. What do you think each team needs to do here to secure themselves a win?
Be confident for Cosmic. Yeah. Be confident.
I'd say for Mi7, just play to their strengths. They're a very strong team. Do what they need to do what they've been doing this entire season.
All right. Well, that will do it for us here at the halftime show. Stiko, Bernie, thank you guys so much. We're going to throw it back over now to Aliagator and Karma for the rest of this series.
Hello, and welcome back, everyone, and my loose hair as well, to Tranquility Gaming. We are, of course, on our Discord here, one of our semifinals between Mi7 and Cosmic Castaways. I am Aliagator, and I have with me the wonderful Karma to break down everything that happens alongside the action. And for the moment, Karma, we've seen quite a lot of action, 2-1 up for Mi7.
Yeah, 2-1, but even then, it doesn't really tell the full story. Mi7 taken to map 3 or 7.3 in Antarctica on first map, getting 199 with both their wins to get the map. Cosmic Castaways getting first held on their first map, playing to Pariso, sort of looking a little bit shaky, and then Junkertown sort of flipped on its head. Mi7 looked a little bit shaky. Cosmic Castaways was able to take the win. But now we head to map 4, which you stated before the halftime show is push. We're going to Coliseum, which the last time these two teams faced, Mi7 took. So maybe Cosmic Castaways was able to flip it on its head and take Coliseum themselves, but it's going to be rough, especially if Mi7 is able to run that Junker Queen / Reinhardt brawl they've been running, and they've been looking fairly dominant on, other than Junkertown.
Yeah, I mean, this is their map pick, like you mentioned. They took away Cosmic Castaways pick of Paraiso. They were absolutely fantastic on that first point hold. Then all they needed to do was capture one tick and a half, and aside from some funky shenanigans that we have already forgotten about, I'm sure, they have been looking fantastic, like you said, on both the Reinhardt composition, the Junker Queen composition, both of which are very much prevalent in this map. I am not surprised in the slightest. To be fair, we only have 3 push maps. The alternatives were New Queen Street and Esperanza, which yeah, they're still good. Esperanza especially, and not too bad for the Junker Queen or the Reinhardt either. But I think they feel more confident, like you said, in Coliseum. They have won it before, and this is the swing map for them. We were talking about Cosmic Castaways in their map pick after losing their first map pick. This was their swing map. They won it. Now Mi7, they lose. They get their pick. It is their time to shine. We kind of already know what they're going to run with, but what do you think Cosmic Castaways are going to cook up? Anything that we haven't seen before, or something that we know they like to run?
No, I think they're going to run the Reinhardt brawl that they were running, especially on first point. I feel like they might also try to run this ball again, especially how well it was working against Mi7 before on Antarctic Peninsula. But the second that Mi7 brings out the Sombra, it was wraps a little bit. But it really like the Rhine comp that they were running on Antarctic Peninsula, the Rhine May Apex on the Sojourn. I really liked it. They looked dominant on it. And then so far, they sort of haven't been able to go back to it. They were able to go back to it on Antarctica, the third point. But I think Coliseum was the best map for it. I think that brawl is just too strong, especially with the glass pillar right there. Not really a lot of different angles that you can go to. I think if Mi7 decides to bring out Lore on the Bastion, I think they might have the upper hand, especially with how enclosed this is, and you're not able to get Apex on these little off angles that he's been loving so far. But it's going to be rough for both sides, especially if Cosmic Castaways is playing as well as they did on Junkertown, especially at the very end, being able to stay alive against Tannic B's just ultimate onslaught from the side of Mi7.
Yeah, especially because we know push is a very punishing game mode, right? If you don't get the composition right, you can't just go back to spawn and say, okay, we just wasted a little bit of time, but we aren't pushing the card, or we wasted a little bit of time, but the card got pushed, or they got percentage points, etc., etc. It is the bot being pushed on towards your side, on towards the checkpoint that is on your side, that then you have to push back. And if you lose that first fight, then you have to force the swap. It is so much harder to come back. It is definitely doable, but it is not easy by any means. Mi7, are they going to be playing the guessing games? Are they going to come out of the gates with the Sombra to deny the Wrecking Ball from Cosmic Castaways? Are Cosmic Castaways going to cook up something to counter Mi7's Reinhardt? Or is it going to be the Junker Queen? You play differently against both characters. You might want a Kiriko against the Junker Queen, but maybe the Baptiste against the Reinhardt. It remains to be seen what is going to happen. I hear the countdown happening in my ears, and finally we are going to get into it. Reinhardt for the side of Mi7, like you said, with a Bastion. Magic Otter rolling out on the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, something that's very interesting, especially being able to, if you're able to get to the backline and able to just to annoy them as much as you can get Apex on this very long sightline that's really just the main of the map, but it looks like they've been trying to be running onto Apex the second that they can.
Oh, good lord, look at that Genji main already charging in, trying to be disruptive on the backline of Cosmic Castaways. Speaking of disruption, Magic Otter, like you were saying, already getting Bunny in the disruptor shot from Apex, as well as going to be something from the long range that can be very helpful. Mi7 now switching over immediately, Bunny switching over to the Kiriko, but Magic Otter is going to get melted. This is the advantage of the Bastion that we have seen all series long. We haven't seen it in a hot minute, but Laura, we haven't forgotten just how how good they are. The battle against Aphex is going to keep raging on, but it seems like Mi7 have managed to regain control of the bot, and surely with Nicc getting that flick with a Mei, it is their push now.
Yeah, and Bunny switching over to the Kiriko just so that way they're not basically the main dive target of Cosmic Castaways. With Mi7's comp, they're not really somebody that you can fully dive. Bastion, they do have the where you go into turn in front, you take less damage. Nicc has the freeze. Genji main is the tank, and then now you have the speed of Lucio and then the Kiriko teleport, which is going to be a lot more difficult to be able to try to dive onto somebody on the side of Mi7.
Yeah, and as well, we're not seeing the Zenyatta to counter the Bastion. We saw Zenyatta, but for other purposes. In Junkertown now, Yoon does have that pulse bomb, could go for a stake into the backline. Magic Otter trying to be a nuisance around here, but they have to be careful because they are far away from their healers. Genji main a far away from that Shatter the Cleanse is there so that the Pulse Bomb doesn't find anything. Laura now has the ultimate, could be a good zoning toll to deny Cosmic Castaways of any type of push that they want, and especially with Boat Carrier now with the Sound Barrier online, Nicc with the Blizzard as well. Nothing comes out just yet. It is a big game of stall right here, but it is working in favor of Mi7. Now there is a Mei wall right there to try to deny some of those pushes. Bunny, I thought it said Gunny for a moment. I forgot their name. Almost have that Kitsune Rush. It's not going to be necessary. The Sound Barrier and the Blizzard come out. Genji main is going to take down Magic Otter. The Bastion ultimate is going to be the cherry on top to push away the members of Cosmic Castaways. It is a very costly fight, but it is hopefully going to give them a lot of push time, but not if Aphex has anything to say about it. The overclock is still online. This is a very important piece of the puzzle that they have forgotten about. Boat Carrier is paying the price, and the overclock is good for 1. Will it be good for 2? Yes, it will. It looks like Genji main getting all that damage. Magic Otter the one to get the final blow. Lore does get the trade, but finally gonna get taken down by Jacob F on the Lucio. Nicc though, getting one back. This is so back and forth. Jacob F and Nicc and Aphex. It is a trade city. Finally, Cosmic Castaways come out on top.
Yeah, finally they were able to get that. If they were to get to that checkpoint already, that would have been that would have been very rough for the side of Cosmic Castaways. But we are seeing switches from the side of Mi7. Genji main going to the Junker Queen again, and Lore switching over to the Sombra. This is the sort of the comp that Cosmic Castaways has been struggling against with this ball comp. They just haven't been able to find the right sort of recipe to break it completely, especially with Magic Otter on the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, Lore is a big counter, not just because the Sombra naturally counters Magic Otter's Wrecking Ball, but because of how good it is. And now Lore has forced that Sound Barrier, well, kind of all the team from Mi7, and finally taking down Apex. There it is. That's the opening that Mi7 were looking for. The Pulse Bomb does come out from Yoon, but doesn't get anything. Magic Otter did trade for Nicc, but Genji main is now on cleanup duty. The Wrecking Ball, the only one that remains here in the backlane. Actually, the Tracer was also here. The hacks galore, though. Magic Otter, surely the next one to die. And Aphex switched onto the Soldier 76. Good old Legs is here.
Yeah, Legs is here. A little bit of an interesting switch, especially with Cosmic Castaways, but they are switching more to a brawl style, which honestly, I really like the Soldier pick now. If you're going to a more brawl style, being able to get a more consistent sort of damage output, especially since you don't have a shield on the side of Mi7. But what they do have is 4 ultimates basically online on Mi7's side, whereas Cosmic Castaways, they aren't even close to 1.
Oh, they are so proactive with that Blizzard trying to push back. Cosmic Castaways and this EMP will be online very soon. The Rampage is also available, but the hack is good to take down Aphex. Magic Otter, though, swinging around. Nicc goes down. The Blizzard had gone out already, so nothing too big lost in there. The EMP is being saved, and Lore is still getting picks. Bunny helping as well, and Boat Carrier, everyone is collaborating with that damage, and this looks like it's going to be the checkpoint for Mi7.
Yeah, it really does look like it's going to be the checkpoint with now all 4 ultimates on besides Nicc's freeze. But actually, no, Cosmic Castaways is able to contest this from the high ground and are trying to hold it, especially with Nicc being close to the Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, and because Bunny died to Onyx kind of randomly at the end of that fight, and Cosmic Castaways were already respawning. Now they have the advantage, and the checkpoint is not quite going to be captured for Mi7. Aphex switching over to the Cassidy, still the same principle. Oh, that is big EMP! That is absolutely massive. The Rampage comes through, and the cleanse had already come out, so it's not going to be available. That is disaster for Cosmic Castaways. Perfect Overwatch for the side of Mi7.
Yeah, that was perfect for the side of Mi7. The only thing that they might not have needed to use is Bunny's Kitsune Rush. That's like the only thing that looked a little bit off there, but even then, now they finally get that checkpoint. They're like, we're not letting you contest it this time. Whereas in Cosmic Castaways, they just only have 2 ultimates up, and it's gonna be difficult for them to try to turn this now.
Yeah, now Magikarp has this Shatter, and the Blizzard is coming out from Yoon. Sorry, now Yoon does get Bunny. The sound barrier is here, but it's a bit too late from Boat Carrier. Are they going to retreat? Where are they going? The main wall is here, but finally, Nicc will fall. This is the fight win for Cosmic Castaways. Boat Carrier is going to run the last second contest. But finally, they concede, and Cosmic Castaways pushing the bot once again, but time is dwindling, and it's going fast.
Yeah, time is very much so dwindling, but the only thing that's good on the side, the only thing that Cosmic Castaways I feel like they can take away from that is the only ultimate now that Mi7 has is Nic's Freeze, whereas Cosmic, they do have 3 ultimates pretty much online, and those are very good turning ultimates if you really land some, which Magic Otter is able to do onto 3.
Blink and you miss it. Genji does get 1 onto Onyx, but the Kiriko honestly just going to be able to respawn fast. TP. Maybe not TP because it's a bit out of range because that bot is pushed very far ahead. But Magic Otter just lays down the hammer. Nicc is obliterated instantly as well with the Fire Strike to follow up. I don't even know if it was onto Bunny or someone else. Bunny now switching over to the Baptiste and Laura on the Hanzo trying to go for those opening picks. Now there is going to be a Blizzard coming in very soon here. There it is down from Nicc. It cannot be swallowed. There is no Diva. Aphex does take down Nicc, but Laura is going to trade for Magic Otter. That is the tank. That is the shield god. But Aphex pushing away with this Deadeye. Doesn't get anything, but that's a lot of damage onto Genji and does get the headshot as well onto Laura. I don't know if it was a headshot or body shot, but it is good. It's taking them down. The Cosmic Castaways, they seem like they are running away with it. The Kiriko is back into the fight. It is a big contest right here that Mi7 are trying to put in. Bunny dropped very low, but didn't die. Crucially, Jacob now has this sound barrier for the engage. Are they going to go for it? There was a main wall. It's perfect. Aphex takes down Boat Carrier. Now this is the win condition for Cosmic Castaways. They're going to push forward. They're going to press W, but it seems like Mi7, they don't want to die. Nicc does fall though. Bunny with the Amplification Matrix trying to get all the healing and all the damage done, but it is all for naught as finally Cosmic Castaways come out on top.
Yeah, they're finally able to get it, and they also, I feel like they'll be able to get the checkpoint as well. But now you're starting to see these switches come into play. Mi7, the second they switch to the Brawl comp, Cosmic Castaways switches immediately back to the Wrecking Ball comp to try to be able to counteract it, but Mi7 is able to contest the point before the capture is met.
There is a Blizzard out there. It's going to catch everyone and their mom inside the point. Genji is saved by the bell with that amplification matrix, sorry, the lamp, but it is too little, too late. Aphex does get 2 in the time that I was thinking about my words, and Cosmic Castaways now have the checkpoint. Surely, there it is. The capture is going to come through, and with less than a minute remaining, they might be able to push beyond. You see, the golden line, that is their goal, and then Mi7 would be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, the only thing that's good for Cosmic Castaways is that they have 3 ultimates online, whereas Mi7, they have none, as the minefield already comes out immediately for Cosmic Castaways.
All 3 ults are here. The Deadeye does get 1 onto Genji. No shield to deny that. Magic Otter takes down Nicc, and this could very well be it. 30 seconds and counting down. There is the boob onto Aphex. They are going to go for a swim on the side of the river of Rome, which I forgot the name of, but Laura and Boat Carrier are coming back with 2 of their own. Onyx does take down Bunny. The stall here looks to be infinite, but it is not working in favor of Mi7. Now the point is going to be crossed. If it happens in overtime, it will be the automatic victory for Cosmic Castaways, but Laura gets 1 back. Mi7, they really want to fight for this, and crucially, Cosmic Castaways did not get the point. It is all onto Magic Otter. This seems like it is going to be the victory for Mi7 on their map pick. Overtime starts ticking, and now it is the ball on the corner side of Cosmic Castaways. Jacob gets 2, but the EMP is big, gets 3, and that is the win condition for Mi7. Are they going to be able to push it through? Magic Otter is very low. You would expect that Wrecking Ball to drop, and there it is. The overtime goes away. No one can touch the bot. And Mi7 put themselves on series point.
The second that Aphex falls off the map, that's the turning point that Mi7 needed. Boat Carrier, it's in his name. He carried that last fight, even though he wasn't there for most of it. Just being able to get that one little boop to turn the fight immediately, and then the EMP from Roar being able to basically confirm the fight win. That just looked perfect from the side of Mi7, using their ultimates right at the perfect time. But like I was saying before, this was just the ultimate swap fest. Like you were able to see. Magikarp started with the ball. Bunny with the Baptiste switches over to the Kiriko. Then Mi7 decides, you know what, we're going to switch to the Junker Queen. We're going to switch to the Sombra. We're going to try to turn it that way. Magikarp done. Then just switches over to the Reinhardt. They switch back to the Brawl style. And then Magikarp's like, okay, I'm going to play the ball again. Now Mi7, okay, we're going to go back to what we've been doing before. Go back to the Junker Queen Sombra at the last fight. Able to turn it completely. And Aphex was trying his hardest to be able to carry. But just at the end of the day, just gets booped off of the map and isn't able to win it for this team.
Yeah, and crucially, you were mentioning Aphex. That is one of the picks that I like the most from Cosmic Castaways. You can't really take away from the work that they did because they go into the Cassidy. I wasn't able to say it among all the action, but I think that is a very good counter to the Sombra because if you see it roaming around the backline, they decloak themselves. As soon as the hack comes through, you can stick them with that magnetic grenade that is a big burst of damage that, say, I don't know what other DPS they were playing before. The Sojourn. Actually, the Sojourn does not provide that. Of course, you have to disrupt your shot, but you cannot counter a Sombra with that. You need some instant damage. That's why I think they went for the Soldier 76. They have those Helix rockets to do a big burst of damage. That magnetic grenade, not quite as instant as the rockets, but still a big counter to the Sombra. Then they start clicking heads. Then they get a bit countered by the Reinhardt, but then when the Junker Queen comes around again, there's no shield to metal on the way. They're able to get that Deadeye off, so much damage, but unfortunately, like you said, they get booped off the map in the crucial point. I think that's a very valiant effort for Cosmic Castaways, and it really hurts if you are rooting for them, because they almost had it. They almost took away Mi7's map pick, but now they are on the verge of elimination. Going into control, they have their map pick, and it is going to be Ilios. What do you think, Karma?
Honestly, it's going to be rough, especially like you were saying before. They've been so close. They've been so close. If it went 1% the other way, you would see Cosmic Castaway being up 3, winning the entire position already. I think the only one that it wouldn't be, I think they'd be up 3-1. But like, it's just been so close. And I think Ilios is that perfect map to sort of Mi7, if they're able to win it, I think it would be perfect. I think at the end of the day, I think they could win it here. But Cosmic Castaways, they still got that little bit of fight in them. If they're able to predict what Mi7 wants to do, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a very interesting fight though to see what team is able to outmaneuver the other.
Yeah, and competitions are going to be crucial here. We've seen pretty consistent stuff around both teams, but just last Tuesday this week, actually, I casted that one game that I told you one team won the first map and then lost the next 4. Both teams ran 3 entirely different competitions on all 3 points of Ilios. I saw a Roadhog on Well. We saw Farah on Lighthouse going absolutely ham. There were Echoes. There were Roadhogs, like I said. I think there was a Mercy, a Kiriko, a Lucio, and Ana. We might have seen the entire roster in those 3 points of Ilios. It was back and forth, and I expect maybe a bit more consistency here from both of these 2 teams as their competitions look a bit more set in stone, but certainly some chaos. I am looking to see 3 extremely good points, just like we saw on Antarctic Peninsula.
Yeah, especially on Ruins, I believe it is. Aphex maybe switching to the Widow, but please don't pick the Pharah. I want to see you on Widow against these 2. But yeah, Mi7, they're looking to predict the ball comp already with Lore starting on the Sombra, but instead they're going to be met with a Rhine mirror here.
I guess the Sombra is still good against the Reinhardt. You can hack, try to take down that shield a little bit. Aphex sticking with his Cassidy pick that has been so helpful for them, and Bunny is already gone. Bye-bye. Reset is going to come through, at least I would expect from Mi7. There it is, Aphex and Yoon combining for another 2, and that's going to be the point of control of Cosmic Castaways right off the rip. Aphex going ham.
Aphex getting 3 there, yeah. If Aphex is popping like that, being able to get the first point, as we see Lore immediately swap over to the Bastion instead of the Sombra. But yeah, if Aphex is popping like that and being able to get those first picks, it's going to be rough for Mi7 to be able to try to get this victory.
Definitely going to be rough, but this Lore is a better counter for that Reinhardt, especially now that the Mei wall has come through. Tanic B has so much damage, and there it is. The combination of the Bastion and the Mei is absolutely deadly. Onyx's Immortality Field comes a bit too late. Aphex, nothing that they can do here on the side of the map, and Mi7, just like that, with a snap of a finger, and a click off a key. They swap to the Bastion, and they claim the point.
Yeah, they really do. As now Cosmic Castaways is switching over to the ball comp, the tried and true of what they've been trying to do here. Now that Lore is off of the Sombra, but it's going to be rough, especially because I mean, they could win but Aphex finds Lure immediately.
And there it is, exactly what they were looking for. Genji main goes up there, takes Aphex down with the Fire Strike. I don't know how that Shatter climbed all the way. I don't know if it did, actually, but Yoon is going to be able to get that Reinhardt board. Carrier does get the Sound Barrier out, trying to provide a bit more sustain for the players on the point. Bunny as well, with a lot of healing and damage amplification here through this Amplification Matrix. Now there does come the main wall to destroy it, but Board Carrier is going to be able to take down Magic Otter, and there is a Disruptor shot, but the point is still in control of Mi7. Genji main coming back on the Junker Queen, and Lore back on the Sombra. This is a game of swaps between Aphex and Lore.
Yeah, immediately, the second that the ball comes out for the side of Cosmic Castaways, but the only thing that they have going for them is that they have almost every single ultimate, and if they're able to get some good picks here, then it could be massive, but Nicc is already dead.
Nicc is already dead, courtesy of Genji main and the Blizzard and the Amplification Matrix, and now the Sound Barrier come out. Finally, Cosmic Castaways finding the picks that they need. They are throwing the kitchen sink and then some at it. I believe that was 4 ultimates thrown at the point, and still, they will only just capture it.
Yeah, they use 4 ultimates, but the one thing that's good is that Aphex still has the overclock. Something that's we've seen already today is been able to do good for it, and now immediately we see another switch. Magic Otter back to the Reinhardt instead of the ball. Something that's been getting pretty hard counter to get by Mi7.
It's the cycle of switch, and it is just back and forth, and Lore gets deleted by Aphex. That is why you pick the Sojourn, and now the overclock is still available. They might not even need it as well. The Sombra, so much damage, so much utility that it is gone. Mi7 might just take the retreat with a shout. They go back, and they're going to have to go again. They do have the EMP, though.
Yeah, they have the EMP. They're close to another freeze, but it's the Cosmic Castaways being able to hold this. It's almost last fight territory for the side of Mi7 as this EMP comes out.
Oh, that is huge. Hits onto 4. Aphex barely gets to pop the overclock. I don't know if it got hacked or not, but Genji main deletes them. Lore does take down 1, and clean fight off the back of the EMP. Mi7 only need 1 ultimate and are building the other 4.
Yeah, they're building the other 4 close to almost every single one as Aphex decides, I'm going to switch right back over to the Cassidy to try to pop some heads and be able to get some nice picks. But Mi7, they have a lot of ultimates, and now we're really heading into last fight territory for both teams.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever wins this fight is probably going to come out on top. There is a hack already onto Magic Otter. That is massive, and the ultimates are coming out. Nicc does get the Blizzard, and maybe they won't need anything else. A Rampage also came out from Genji main, and there it is. We're seeing the effects. The Kitsune Rush also comes through. They might not need it at all. There it is. The overtime. First point is going to go to Mi7 with a Sound Barrier on top, like the cherry.
Yeah, Mi7 just being able to hold all their ultimates to that last fight, being able to basically hold them in that final corner. I thought they were all going to get frozen, but luckily Nicc was able to use the Suzu and get them all free. But then at the end of the time, I was like, hey, guess what? I have a Rampage now. You don't have something to cleanse it, and they popped it, got basically almost every single person on the side of Cosmic Castaways. But it looks so clean from both sides. Even though Cosmic Castaways is losing these fights, they look very good.
Yeah, exactly. And now they have the chance to advance to the grand finals here of this Discord tier. They are 1 point to win. It's going to be a Lighthouse. Cosmic Castaways fighting for their lives. Aphex lagging a little bit behind on that Sojourn, and Lore actually sticking with the Symmetra for the faster hold on point. Maybe we'll see the Monkey come out of Magic Otter for the counter. Remains to be seen for the turrets, but Magic Otter is actually going to take down Nicc with a Fire Strike. Onyx destroys Bunny's Immortality Field, which came out a bit too late, and now there's another Fire Strike and the headshot from Aphex. And for the second time in a row, it is Cosmic Castaways that get the opening fight win.
Yeah, it is. If they're able to keep this momentum going, it could be massive for the side of Cosmic Castaways. This could be the turning point, especially since Lore is sticking with the Symmetra instead of swapping to either a Sombra or a Bastion, just trying to keep it going. But again, it could be rough, especially with these sort of teams just holding on to that final point.
Yeah, but we know the Symmetra is a big pick, a big viable pick against the Reinhardt. You get so much charge of the shield. You can really melt soon. And Yoon! What happened? Might have fallen off the map. Don't really know what was going on. But with such a big source of damage gone, you're never going to win that fight. And this is Mi7. Oh, capturing the point. Maybe there's a disconnect. Something happening. There's a pause in the game.
Hopefully it's just a disconnect and not something more serious. Hopefully it's just a pause because something happened. But yeah, if Yoon fell off the map because of lag or if because they disconnected, that's very rough for the side of Cosmic Castaways. Looking very strong and then just losing that immediately the second the second that they were able to start the fight. And yeah, as we get confirmation here is a mini DC for Yoon, so that's very unfortunate, especially since they were already at 55% of their May freeze within one fight. It's rough.
Certainly rough, Cosmic Castaways dealing with a little bit of technical difficulties, but it happens. There's nothing really that you can do when your internet goes rogue. Just pray for the best, try to come back, try to make the most out of a bad situation. They did get the first fight win, so they are going to have those percentage points in their favor, even though Mi7 are climbing back, and they're climbing back fast. We really haven't seen much out of the Symmetra pick. I think that could be the key to this round. It could make or break the composition from Mi7. Maybe we could see it push to a third round from Cosmic Castaways. Kind of all depends of how it unfolds here. And we are back, and the point still not quite in favor of Mi7. Now they are going to get the capture, surely. Onyx does get one, but they are going to die and get staggered. Oh, this is brutal.
Yeah, it's very brutal, especially since they only really got 37%, close to 40, but now Cosmic Castaways do have 2 ultimates up close to the other 3, but Mi7, they have the Shatter, and they also have the Symmetra wall where, especially if Otter is able to get a Shatter onto somebody and Laura is still up, then being able to use the wall just keep your team alive is great.
Yeah, there it is, and already Bunny getting the opening pick onto Aphex. This is going to be massive because Sojourn is such a huge source of damage. The Symmetra wall comes out. That's really going to be everything that Mi7 need. It is the immediate disengage from Cosmic Castaways.
Yeah, it really is, especially since the Aphex has sort of been the carry of Cosmic Castaways. Whenever they are alive, Cosmic Castaways is winning, but it's the second that they pass, the second that they die, it's just been losses for Cosmic.
There it is, first Blizzard to come out is that of Yoon. Nicc B holding on to theirs. Apex does take down Bunny, and oh my goodness, it's just carnage on point. Genji main uses the Shatter. Oh no.
They Apexed. Bout carrier Apex right there, trying to keep his team alive.
No.
So they used 3 ultimates there. Now Mi7 only have the freeze, whereas Cosmic Castaways, they had to use 2 as Yoon falls off the map again.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. There's the DC again, unfortunately. But Cosmic does have 3 ultimates heading into this fight. But a quick little update on stream 2. Paradise is up 3-2, surprisingly, against REM. So if that ends before we do, we'll let you guys know. But going back to this map, it's unfortunate that Yoon is sort of DCing, but sort of maybe a blessing in disguise, a little bit of extra pause time to sort of think things through, get a nice little mental reset, even though you are winning this fight. I think it's always nice to have a nice little mental reset, especially in a very tough game like this is.
Most definitely, like you said, they won the fight. Now they have time to not overheat. We saw how Mi7 committed 3 of their ultimates, both support ultimates, Sound Barrier and Amplification Matrix, in a pretty much already lost fight, and then Genji main, when everything was said and done, they commit the Shatter. I thought a big topic of that fight was going to be the fight of the Shatters that both Genji main and Magic Otter had, but instead it was a fight of the Amplification Matrices. They both came out. Yoon was able to block it with her Mei Wall, denying all that amplified damage and healing, and then they dropped the Blizzard before Nicc B. It feels like Cosmic Castaways, they are saying, okay, if we pull the trigger first, we win. So we're just going to keep doing that over and over again. And it's working.
Yeah, not to mention, too, with the Amplification Matrix, Yoon was able to lock it off with the Mei Wall, so that way they weren't able to break it, use the freeze to try to turn the fight, and then they ended up winning. And then MI7, they're trying to do the hero plays, trying to get that, I'm going to be the hero of this fight right now. But then at the end of the day, they weren't able to, with both the Lucio and Genji main just losing their ultimates because they died so late in the fight.
Yeah, exactly. And, yes, you can kind of justify the support ultimates, but that Shatter, I'm sorry to say, I don't like to go at specific players, but that might cost them this round, and hopefully it doesn't. If you're supporting Mi7, you're really praying that they can close it out here, or if they have a third round in the next one, because they are so close. They're this far away from another Grand Finals appearance and potentially a championship win, that one that they have been looking for so long, but it could very well come undone as well if we keep seeing this poor ultimate usage. We are still getting back from this disconnect. I believe the voice in my ear whispered that we are ready to go. I'm not entirely sure what that was, so I'm just gonna ask for confirmation one more time, please. Yes, we're coming back. We love to see it.
Love to see it as, yeah. Wait, they're already going.
Oh!
He dies immediately to Aphex, but they're already capturing the fight. Mi7 was able to get that fight flip before we even came back in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Tanic B, I could have sworn, 1, they were dead, 2, this fight hadn't come to a point where they could use their ultimate, and no, Boat Carrier with a boop. Now it's time for Magic Otter to not get a good shatter. Those Symmetra turrets are putting the work onto the point. Maybe Laura is going to go down, but the turrets take care not only of Yoon, but also of Jacob. And the point is in control of Mi7. Last fight territory, Magic Otter has to go to the Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, last fight territory, Magic Otter going to the Wrecking Ball. That's the strength of the Symmetra TP right there. You're able to surprise people with how fast you're able to come back as Laura finds Aphex. I don't think, are they, okay, good. They are able to touch. I thought they weren't going to be able to.
This could be it. Magic Otter does take down Boat Carrier, so that's gonna be no Lucio healing. No, I believe it. No sound barrier. Sorry, being built. Yoon drops very low. Laura is still putting all this work from the Symmetra Bunny. Destroys that immortality field from Onyx. The sound barrier comes out of the side of Cosmic Castaways. Boat Carrier is trying to stay alive here as Bunny uses her amplification matrix, and through it goes a fire strike that takes down Onyx. Those Symmetra turrets on the point are so pesky. It seems like this is going the way of Mi7, but Aphex tries to bring it down. Who's going to go off the map? It is everyone falling off, and Mi7 are doing it. Mi7 have done it once again into the grand finals. GG's all around. 4-1, the victory is theirs.
Yeah, 4-1 the victory. Like I was saying before the stream started, Mi7 needed a dominant win, and they sort of did that. Sort of winning in a quote-unquote gentleman sweep, going to map 5. Genji main looking to the best of their abilities, playing the Rhine and the Junker Queen to the strengths that they can. The entire Mi7 was looking very clean. They had a little hiccup there on Junkertown, but at the end of the day, especially throughout the entirety of the game, they looked clean. But yeah, it just looked like Cosmic Castaways just bit off a little bit more than they could chew, it seemed like.
Yeah, they tried, they really tried, but at the end of the day, Mi7, I always try to point out the seeds as little as possible, but I also have to say, those numbers are up there for a reason. You have to respect the weight that comes with a #1 seed, even though you handed them, their only defeat of the regular season. They are still the best team in the league. They are the juggernaut, the one that you have to beat. And even though you took Junkertown, it was your map pick. You couldn't really take anything of what they chose. They won Colosseo. Now they took Ilios away as well from Cosmic Castaways, as well as Parisa that we saw earlier. They were just a better team. Cosmic Castaways came agonizingly close here in Colosseo. Maybe that could have been the swing that they needed. Instead of going 3-1, they could have gone 2-2. But Mi7, they have the potential to become champions for a reason.
Yeah, going back to champions, finally trying to be able to get it, or getting some massive plays. I think everybody on Mi7 was able to prove their worth, and I think at one point or another we were calling their names, being able to just being amazing on it and just carrying for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a matter of teamwork, like you said. Everyone pulling their own weight, everyone showing that they deserve to be up there. You can't really point out a weak link in that I was gonna say 5-man squad. I believe, yeah, Majestic came in as a sub for a sec. So I'm gonna say 6-man squad that played today. You can't really take anything away from Cosmic Castaways either, really, can you? They played their hearts out. They came agonizingly close. You see it there. They got their one map in the middle, Colosseo. The scoreline doesn't reflect it, and I wish we could see the distance because it was a matter of 2 meters. That is an absolute tiny, teeny bit piece that it's going to hurt, that one, if they look back at it. But I think they can look back with pride because they took the Juggernauts to the very, very edge. They just couldn't push them, and instead they got crushed.
Yeah, they really did, and especially too, not even on Colosseo, on Antarctic, the Arctic Peninsula, being able to go 199 on 2 of those. You know, if they took that one more, it would still be going. But at the end of the day, Mi7 is winning, going 4-1, and like you said, you can't really fault anybody on the Mi7 squad, but there does have to be one MVP. I know mine. I think mine's gonna be different than yours. Who is yours gonna be?
Oh, that is a hard question. I'm going to take the easy answer. I'm gonna cope out. But honestly, this is my genuine opinion. It's not that I can't come up with one. It's that I can't come up with one, and it's for a reason. I've said it before. They were all so good. They all had their standout moments. I can't really choose anyone. Even Majestic looked good in the one map that they played on Lucio. It just would feel wrong. It wouldn't sit right with me to pick one player out of all the 6 because they all played lights out. So I'm just gonna let you say your pick because I think it's going to be more insightful than mine.
Yeah, I will give my flowers to everybody on the team. Laura looked great. Tanic B carried Paricio. Genji main carried everybody else. Bunny looked amazing. Majestic looked amazing. But I have to go to the one person that I didn't name, and that is Mr. Boat Carrier. Being that final fight leader, being able to knock the Cassidy off the map, being able to get that turning fight just completely, and was able to just be that final, like, okay, I'm that last line of defense, was able to get it done. And even though Mi7, they look like juggernauts, and they were able to, Boat Carrier was able to carry his team on the back, even at the time where it's like, this might be a last fight. They were able to flip that switch and be able to put on their carry pants. But at the end of the day, Mi7 does win 4-1, and they were heading to the grand finals versus somebody that we don't know yet. It is currently 3-2 versus 3-2 Paradise Lost. It is OT and Nubani on the B stream. So if you guys want to go watch it. We'll be excited to see who's going to be going to the grand finals. For myself, Karma, for Aliagator, for Hippy and Nicc in the back. We hope you guys all have a great rest of the night, and go check out the B stream. I know it's going to be hyped down there as well.